the waters of the Blue Nile. For millennia, this river has flowed down from the Ethiopian highlands, enriching the countries along its banks downstream. Now the Ethiopians say it's their turn.
After completion of this project, the whole area beyond the mountain will be covered with water.
The Grand Renaissance Dam project was announced last year by the Ethiopian government in a unilateral move that isn't sitting very well with its upstream neighbours, Egypt and Sudan, who say Ethiopia is threatening their greatest natural resource. What's undisputed, though, is the sheer size of this undertaking.
This is the bridge that we are building in order to cross the Blue Nile.
Francis Verdi works for the Italian construction firm building the dam. If they manage to stay on schedule, in 6 years' time, Ethiopia says it will be able to generate enough electricity to power the entire region.
This is one of the largest dam in the world. We have just started the excavation of the main dam. We started also some excavation in the Saddle Dam, but we are still in the mobilization stage.
Semegnu Bekele is in charge of overseeing this mammoth project. As he looks out over the river valley, he seems undaunted by the undertaking looming before him. Bekele has worked on 3 other dams in Ethiopia, but this will be his first attempt at damming the Blue Nile.
Hydropower is a backbone for any country's sustainable development. This Nile River originates from our country and flows without giving any benefit to us. Now we are able just to utilize or use this river.
It might be a source of national pride for Ethiopia, but for Egypt and Sudan, this project is deeply contentious. Egypt, with its population time bomb, is particularly worried. Nearly 85% of its water originates in Ethiopia. Egyptians say they will not be held hostage over water.
Sudan and Egypt showed their concern. I think the basic reason for that is that building a dam in Ethiopia and putting up such a huge project on the water that goes down to Sudan, they would think that water will be controlled by Ethiopia.
Ethiopia denies this is an issue. Further upstream, these machines, they say, will help them monitor the flow. Ethiopia's Prime Minister Meles Zenawi has dismissed these concerns and warned against what he called dam extremists. And well, he might. This dam project could potentially transform Ethiopia's economy.
Hydropower is the cheapest electricity you can generate anywhere. So Ethiopia has huge advantages for that, and Ethiopia will export enough power to make a difference in the economy. The Ethiopian government is issuing bonds, and we're all buying bonds in order to chip in on this huge national project.
But will that be enough? Some economists believe Ethiopia has only raised 10% of the project's total cost. What is not up for debate is how determined Ethiopia is to fulfill its aspiration as the battery of East Africa. And construction these days is not limited to the dam site. All over Addis Ababa, Ethiopia's capital, new buildings are rising. According to the African Development Bank, Ethiopia's economy last year grew by 7.5%. And although inflation also rose to 31.5%, the country has successfully grown its average income by 50% over the past decade. The International Monetary Fund is ringing alarm bells, though. Given this region's history of drought, the IMF is recommending that governments avoid dependency on hydropower as an engine of growth. As they dig into ancient bedrock for their futuristic dam, it seems the Ethiopians believe this is a risk worth taking. Nemel Barir, CNN, Nairobi.